Thanks, everybody. I'm now welcoming up on the stage Eduardo Navarro, who is the Chief Commercial Digital Officer of Telefónica. Yeah, and we're just going to have a quick chat with you, not too long. We don't want to stand between you and your coffee or your other drinks. I think around, hopefully, the role of customers and how they use data, how their data gets used. I think we had two really interesting pieces of feedback just in those last minutes there, where we had the man who doesn't give a shh about what happens with his data as long as he gets something for it. And then we also had people who clearly see a distinction between European storage of data and elsewhere, but they don't really care about their own country. So I wanted to start by asking you, how do you handle that in a cross-border business? I get the sense that we don't fully understand yet how customers have attitudes to their data. And then there seems to be a little bit of a gap between what they say they want, privacy, and then what they tend to do with the data or expect from you. So how do you process all of those tensions?
So first of all, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here. It's an honor to be part of this panel here today. I think that we have the advantage of being in this business now for almost 100 years, and we have seen different technology. And I think that you have now to work on some kind of a basic criteria that I think it's, I would say, it's technology resistant. Mm-hmm. Now we can change technology, but there are some principles. I think if you take from the time of the PTT, the former post offices with the telecoms, with the telex, I think we have been in this business of delivering content for many, many years. And I think that every customer from us, I think that they are expecting us not to open their communication. So independent is the mobile, with telex is a box. So they expect the company that's delivering this communication not to open it. This communication belongs to the customers unless they ask us to open for certain reason. This is one principle. The second one is that if there is a risk that a box of the content that is being delivered to me contains a bomb, I expect that the police should have the rights under a justice order to open this box. For me, this is, again, I think these are some kind of basic principles that are technological resistance. And for me, I don't know, when you ask it to me, the data center should be in our country or not, for me it doesn't matter, as if the police have the ability to order to open a box if they believe that there is a bomb inside. If an excuse that I cannot open the box because the platform is not in my country, as a customer, I would like to have the data center in my customer because I would like to be protected. Mm-hmm. Based on this, now I think that on your question, what I have to say is that this is everything that we're talking about. The data is very early stage. And when you ask our customers about this, I'll say that most of them do not realize yet we're talking about. Most of the data that we're talking now are data that come from the social networks, that most of them, we don't know if they are true or not, because I can come with the name that I want, I can come with the date I want, I can put the picture that I want. Usually people put picture that much more beautiful than they are in reality, But I think that, and then I say at this stage, I would say that people, we have done a very extensive survey, and usually I think we have many countries, and I think we cannot say that varies too much. I think we can divide it in 4 groups that have almost the same size. People that are very skeptical, they believe that an accident is going to happen on the internet, and they are very concerned in everything they do on the internet. A second group that we call the pragmatics, they believe that something can happen, and then they use internet, but I wouldn't say more for function reasons. There is a third group that we call the laissez-faire, that I don't know, they believe that some things can happen, but they agree, they believe that the benefits are so high that if there is a leakage on the privacy, it doesn't matter. And I think that's the fourth group that we call the innocents. I'm more concerned about the first and the later, because people that are very skeptical about the internet, or people that are very innocent, they don't know what's happened. I think that there is something we have in common here in this room. I think that we all want trust and confidence on the digital world. I think that everyone that is in room, I think that we such a way, we recognize that our future is very related to the future of the digital world. Then bringing trust, bringing confidence on the internet, for us, I think is very important. And just a last consideration. I think that depends on the question that you put to some of our customers. If you put the question, how concerned we are about your privacy, I think that there is an increasing amount of customers that are going to say, I'm not so concerned. But I think that there is a comment here at the end now on the former panel that I like very much. That's if you ask people how much concerned you are about your money, I'll say that 99% of people say I'm very concerned. And the commissioner has said here that in the new economy, data is money. Or the fuel, the oil of the new economy is the data. Then if someone is taking my data, is using without my authorization, they are taking the pocket for the money from my pocket without asking to me. Then I will be very, very reactive to this and say, guys, give my money back. Because this data belongs to me, this money belongs to me. And then it will be my choice to decide for how much money I want to commercialize my data.
And how active a role, if I can ask you this follow-up, do you as a company play in trying to answer some of those questions? So you say that, for example, there needs to be more trust and confidence. So do you take specific actions to try and build that? And then from dealing with the government perspective, okay, we can all see that there might be a bomb that we need to be aware of, but does that mean we need to open up every email and piece of data? It's a bit harder to identify the digital threats maybe than a physical package that could be
I'd say that the first thing that you are working on very intensively is in creating awareness. I think that just this panel here that we are very proud now of being part of this is to create a debate. Now, I would say that at least 2 or 3 years ago, this is debate that didn't happen. No? And I think that now we are debating more about data protection than access regulation. That's, again, it's a very important one, but I think this is a much more transversal discussion. And I think just creating awareness about this is very important. And I don't know, we have just to give an example. Now we are part of we call a lab transparency that's with the MIT, with Microsoft. Many companies are participating in just raising the awareness about people, how important it is. No? I think that once you create the awareness, for me the second move will be to create the transparency. It means that as a customer, I would like to know in each application that I use, what are the data that are being transferred to the owner of this application. I'm transfer my location, I'm transfer my agenda, I'm allowing them to take pictures, because most of the applications I have to say that 99.99% of the applications are phenomenal applications that creates a huge value to users. No, I'm not criticizing the application. No, I'm personally a great fan of application. But I'll say that most of us, when you open an application, we don't know what kind of permissions we are giving in terms of extracting for our data. And I think that just creating some kind of mechanism that can allow our customers to make very transparent to them every moment what are the data that are being transferred to a determined server part. That could be location, that could be payment, that could be agenda. So just giving information, I think, will be very useful to people. And for me, once you create awareness, once you create the transparency, for me, the third level that we are not in this, I think this is a way, will be to create the free to close. So it should be our customers to decide if they want to transfer the data or not. So at the end of the day,
an interoperability question.
Interoperability, yes. Yeah. So I think that we have to see data in the same way that you see money. So I would like to manage my data in the same way that I've managed my money. So I can decide to invest my money in a AAA in Germany, and I have a zero or negative interest, but it has been my decision because I want to be very safe. Or I can decide to invest in a VC that is a high risk that you'll be bankrupt in 3 years from now, but on their side, there is a huge potential. No? I would like to have information about my data that allows me to have the freedom to manage them in the same way that I manage my money. I think this is a very simple way to see how we can trust, how we can manage data.
And one last concrete question about how that actually happens. What do you directly do with customers to help empower them to have that control? Is it a technical tweak? Is it an information message? How do they actually get that choice in their hands?
Yes, I think that we are far away from this now. So although we have some applications that are working on this. Now this is more like a vision that I have to be working on. But I think that we should know the information that you get from our network is a huge amount of information. And it's very, very rich. just by the data that you get from network, we can allow our customers to have this. Now, I think in practical terms, could be through applications. No, we are just going to launch an application in Spain now. It's a very basic application. That, for instance, I say the most basic information that you give you is how you are spending the data, not data information, but the data bytes.
Your plan, how much you've used, how much
if you have
you've got
1
left.
giga plan, how you are spending this. Now, it's very interesting because the first thing that you know, that approximately between 10 or 15% of this data is consumed on advertising that you haven't asked for. So, once you are doing something, we just see an advertising, a video. This is, of course, consume your data. It's between 10 or 15% of your data is consumed on this. And you are going to see another X% is going to be consumed on this, on that, and that. And then I'm going to use this application. I'm going to use the other application. Once I use this application, this is the information that is being transferred. Now, I see again. But at the end of the day, you see, our feeling is that the data belongs to the customer. You see, this is not our data. This is the customer data. And then it should be the customer's decision to decide how they want to treat the data. Then everything that you asked me, should we have a data center here or not? Should the regulation be in this direction or not? I think that the ultimate question should be, which are the rules that really allows the customers to have the right to have to exercise the rights as the ultimate owners of the data.
Great, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you very
Navarro.
much.
And I want to invite all of you now to take coffee or other drinks outside, and we'll come back in around 10 or 15 minutes. So thank you for that.
Thank you.